All right, guys. Hey, how's it going? Pretty cool intro, huh? Yeah, we're definitely coming up in the world over here at HTX TV. I just wanted to kind of do a little intro and say that I was thinking about a couple things last night, and I remember one of my past videos where I was talking about starting your own business and doing your own taxes and being aware of those things. Basically, I was kind of looking at switching from the channel up a little bit and kind of more talking about personal finances, budgeting, and investing as well. So I do have a lot of experience in that. I got over, I would say, you know 13 15 years of financing and business knowledge from working in corporate America, corporations, and seeing how they do it, and then over 7.5 years ago, starting my own company and working with my personal finances as well. So I've been doing this for quite a bit. But today, just wanted to give you guys some of that information. So going to be more financial investing, budgeting, and I'm going to get into in the future, good stocks to invest into, good ways to put money away for 401ks, and also if you want to take a little bit of risk, we can talk about cryptocurrency. I myself have some investments in cryptocurrency as well, so we can definitely go over that. Here you go. Time to spread the love. Some coffee. All right. So first, what I'm going to talk about today is how to budget yourself with the old school envelope system. Actually, I learned this years ago in my 20s. Um, Probably over I'm dating myself, but probably over 19, 20 years ago, I learned this method, and it is awesome. It has always helped me, especially if I needed to save some money, to do some capital investments for my future businesses. It helped me prioritize things instead of just, the end of the month comes and all of a sudden you look back at your account and your money and you're like, where the heck did my money go? So the first, I'm going to have about 7 good points in the envelope system. And sorry about that. Let me get the lighting going back again. There we go. Number one is pay yourself first. When your check comes in, definitely pay yourself first. Do whatever needs to get done, which usually means take care of your bills. Keep the house over your head. Pay your utilities, all that good stuff. That pretty much everything has to do with a place to live in your living situation. So, number one is pay yourself first. And that's pretty somewhat self-explanatory. I know that, mark it off. Yeah, we can, what happens a lot of times is when the money comes in where you're probably thinking about future things that you could splurge on, whether it's entertainment or you want to go hang out with your buddies and, go out to these whatever restaurants or entertainment or something like that. And could be maybe you like concerts and maybe you're like, hey, I want to go to this concert. And you're just thinking of going to that concert first before you do and stick to the system. So I know Dave Ramsey, he's pretty popular for it, about taking care of paying yourself first and keeping everything in order. I honestly have never really used his methods. I've heard of them, but I actually heard of the envelope system before I heard of him. So, but I say his name because nowadays he's pretty popular when it comes to like saving, and he does conventions on it and all that good stuff. So, but definitely pay yourself first, take care of your responsibilities, and then make it where it's very disciplined, where then you can't go forward without that. And if anything, if you got to get a little scheduler, I myself, put put it on a piece of paper, type it out, put it on your daily calendar, and go from there. So that's number one. So number two would be write down your total paycheck amount. So what you need to do is once you write down that total paycheck amount, you know exactly where you're starting from. So that a lot of times visually, once you see your total paycheck and then you subtract what you had to do with paying yourself, which was in our first point, which brings us to number two, then you have a system started. And sometimes you may say, oh, well, I could do that in my head, or, it's not a big deal. I've been doing this for years. But at the end of the day, you need to see how much is coming in and how much is going out. And if you could, the whole point of budgeting is to keep your liabilities in check. Whatever liabilities, which it costs you money to keep your current living lifestyle situation. So, all right. So 2 is write down your total paycheck. Okay. And number 3 would be figure out your total cost of your bills. As a whole, every month, obviously your electric bill probably can fluctuate a few couple $100 here and there. But once you figure out your total cost of your bills, then you can more or less know how much money you have left over in the future. So definitely get a number down, and maybe for a couple months down the road, each month you can do it weekly, you can do it monthly. You can figure out those costs and you can keep tabs on it. You can even possibly do it on a spreadsheet on a computer, or you can also go old school and just write it down and have them written down on piece of papers. I know everybody's different. I know the younger generation, possibly you could probably use a spreadsheet. Probably even on your phone tablet, have a little spreadsheet strictly for budgeting, and every month you could have your budgets in order. So, okay, that was point number 3, figure out your total bill cost, and which leads us to number 4, figuring out monthly or weekly when your paycheck is coming in. Have that set on your calendar. Have a reoccurring reminder on your calendar. Hey, I'm going to get paid this day, and whether it could be weekly, it could be every 2 weeks, it could be once a month. And that way, when you're viewing your calendar throughout the week, whether you can even use an actual physical calendar, like a planner book, if you want, that's fine. I'm more of a digital person. It's 2020. I'm more of a digital, do things on electronics. You could probably find a daily budget calendar. I'm pretty sure they probably have apps for that. I don't know any names of apps right now. Maybe in my next video, maybe I can get a few. I'll write that down actually. Next video, budget apps. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe a next video here in the near future, I could do a budgeting app tutorial, or a budgeting apps, maybe a couple that I've picked out that I like. But you can always, there's so many apps nowadays. There's probably have one on your laptop as well, or your handheld device. So, okay. So number 5 is categories of envelopes. So we're doing all this stuff, and then we're going into the envelope system. So I actually wrote down a few here myself. Here's a few examples, and these envelopes are after you paid yourself, you took care of your living expenses, your mortgage, your rent, your bills. After all that's paid, these envelopes are for the money that's left over. So One example could be your gas or your petrol envelope. So what you're going to do is figure out, I would say, how much you would need per month, and you put that in the envelope right here. Throw it in there. Boom! You got this. This one envelope is for your whole month, and you can put it in a little filing cabinet, file it away. There's gas and petrol. Here's groceries and food. I know my handwriting's not that great, but I'm using a little marker. But yeah, groceries and food. I believe those are basically the same thing. Food in general, whether you get at the store. Actually, I store or fast food. I know here in the States, we have tons of fast food. I know that. I'm pretty sure y'all have a McDonald's somewhere where you live, wherever you're at. So yeah, McDonald's is worldwide now. I've been worldwide for a while, so definitely groceries or fast food. And then one of the last envelopes I have is entertainment. So entertainment, that could be anything. Going out to bars, restaurants. It kind of could be food, but I believe restaurants a little more entertainment because you're most likely having someone serve you hand and foot, you know. So entertainment could be bars. Doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol. Anywhere you go and there's entertainment, it's socializing, concerts, all the above, etc., etc. So get those leftover envelopes. I probably do one more called miscellaneous, and that could be for just the leftover amount of money set aside for anything. It could also be even emergencies as well. So that's a pretty big point. So that's number 5. So moving along to number 6 is how much money do you need to put in each of these envelopes, right? How much? So basically all you got to do is gauge in a month's time, more or less. What I would do is to keep a good budget, I would use the minimum that you think you would need to reach spending that much in that category for each month. Give yourself a budget. Say, I'm only going to spend X amount of dollars for entertainment. I'm only going to spend this amount of money on groceries and food. I'm only going to spend this much amount of money on gas and petrol. So that way, in the future, you actually stick to a budget. So it helps keep you on a budget. And then what happens is with the greatest part of the envelope system is that it holds you to the budget, and you stick, as long as you stick to that budget, you can't go over it. It's pretty challenging. I mean, at the end of the day, you could just say, screw it, grab your money and the rest of your money and just spend it however you want. But sticking to the budget system, you'll see that at the end of the month, if you still have money in those envelopes, let's say, let me pull up a general situation. Let's say you went the whole month, and for some odd reason, you didn't have to put as much gas in your tank that you thought or whatever. And let's say that all of a sudden you look back at the end of the month and you're going through your envelopes and you look at your petrol envelope and you're like, oh my goodness, look in here. There's still money in there. Wow. Oh, there we go. Awesome. There's still money in there. You know what? I could either throw that in savings or I could leave it in there. And then the next time when I'm going through my budget for the next pay period or the next paycheck, I could either add to that or I could just put it in savings. You could also put it towards another file folder, maybe entertainment. Maybe find a way to reward yourself for sticking to the budget. And maybe say, okay, maybe if I do that 2 months in a row, maybe the third month I could reward myself, splurge a little bit, maybe go to a restaurant that I normally wouldn't go to, or something like that. Um, but the last the last number 7 point is check. It's pretty big, and I'll actually circle it, and I will show you on my list. If you look here, probably can't see that, it's probably backwards, but sorry about that. Check and balance daily. So, or every other day, or a couple times a week, have a point to where you're checking your envelope system, double checking them, making sure that you're sticking to your budget, and pretty much from there, I believe in the future, you will have a lot more savings, a lot more money to maybe invest in other businesses, or maybe have capital to start your own company. Um, if you're looking at maybe starting your own company in the future, and then maybe you are a business owner, maybe you could maybe with that extra money, you could put more money into your advertising budgets, or maybe reinvest back in your business, and then in the long run, your business will make more money. So, but all right, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you today, with the envelope system and helping you out with your finances. So, definitely leave some comments below if you like. Definitely, if you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be coming at you with tons of more budgeting videos, finances, and investing in the future. So